We now want to add some indication of the player's health down here at the bottom. So to do that, we're just going to add some more text. So click on the inventory menu panel underneath the canvas. Right click UI and some more text. And let's put this down near the bottom. Maybe just over here a little bit. And this one is going to be size, I want it a little bit bigger, so maybe about 22 so that we can see it, and the color is going to be white, and I want it to say health and a colon next to it. And in fact I might actually put a space between health and colon so that it's easier to see it, easier to read. Yeah, I think that's fine. Maybe just lift it up just a little bit, roughly about there is good. So this is going to be health label, this is what it's going to be called. And then I'm just going to take this one, duplicate it, so Control and D to duplicate, move this over so that it's next to the health. I'm going to change the numbers on these, so the font size for this one is going to be about 47. Now, if you notice that it disappears, just click on this button at the top, Rect tool, and then we can actually just change the rectangle, and obviously it reappears. It's simply because the text was too big to actually render inside of that box. Okay, so I just want to drag this up a little bit. I want this to read about 100% as a percentage, and I want the color to be kind of like a bright red. Alright, so it's easy for the player to actually see this, and we are going to be controlling that through script a little bit later. Alright, great, so that's good. And in fact, actually, let's just call this health text, or what about health amount? That might be better. And in fact I want to just click both of these and just move them over a little bit. I think it could be centered. I think that might look a lot better. Just like that. Okay, now we want some batteries to appear in our menu. When we've picked up a battery, we might need to use those in order to replenish the flashlight battery, etc. So we've got the GUI battery in our GUI folder. Click back on inventory menu panel, right click, UI, and it's going to be an image. Let's call this, let's call it battery image. Just move that out of the way, battery image, and I'll call this, well, just leave it at battery image, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to drag the GUI battery into the source image slot and click set native size. Now the size of this, bit difficult to see there, it's actually 54 by 79. Okay, so we also need to create a button as well. So right click, UI and button. Now we don't want any text in the button, so just open it up and get rid of the text. I'm going to call this battery button. And the size of it, what was it again? It was 54 by 79. Okay, so width of 54, height of 79. And there we go, that's covering it exactly. And just as we did with the buttons before, we're actually going to make the normal color completely transparent by setting the alpha to 0. And the highlighted color, we're going to change the hexadecimal code. It is E51B28, and the opacity was 2. So let's just highlight that, Control C to copy, and do the same on pressed color, and also on selected color. Great, and the color multiplier we're going to set to 2. Alright, great, so that's battery button and battery image. So now if we select both of those, we can now move this into place. So I currently want the player to be able to carry up to 4 batteries. So if that's battery number 1, with both of these selected, we can now do Control and D to duplicate, or you can go Edit and Duplicate there. And I just want to move this one across. So now we've got 2 batteries. Select all 4 of them, Control D to duplicate, and let's move them across. Get them spaced evenly across, and now we've got our 4 batteries. Great. So now I can see that battery image, I think this one should be 2. So no, it's battery number 2. Battery button number 2 as well. This one's going to be battery image 3. And just make sure that they are labelled correctly, because we are going to be accessing these with some button functionality soon, so it just helps if they're all labelled correctly. Button number 4. Okay, and in fact, battery image, I'm just going to call this one. Did I do there? Just press escape if you make a mistake there. Battery image number 1 and battery button number 1. Great, so they're all lined up now. Great, so everything's looking good visually. If you do want to move anything, you can just highlight the entire block, and just using your move tool you can then move it around as need be as one big block. Okay, but I'm quite happy with where everything is.